Have you guys enjoyed your day so far? Alright, how many songwriters we have here? Who has written a song? You? Anybody else? You? Don't be shy, put your hand up. You've written a song? Okay, more and more. You're not sure if you've written a song or what, because you're coming up one at a time. Who has written a song here before? Everybody put your hands up if you did. Alright, great. Just to tell you a little history about what I do. I'm a jazz musician, gospel singer, guitarist, producer, songwriter. I've been the chairman for the board called SAMPRA, the Performance Chamber, for 3 years. I just resigned this year. So who knows what SAMPRA is? Nobody. Okay, so South African Music Performers Recording Association. Who's heard about SAMRO? Right. Anybody knows what SAMRO means? What it stands for? Take a guess. Almost there. Exactly. Give him a clap. He winged it, but it turned out good. Alright. And then we have Capacitor. If you have a book, you want to write it down. We have SAMPRA, that is the South African Music Performers Recording Association. Alright, I'll explain. In brackets, next to that, you can just put needle time. Needle, as in a needle, we poke. Needle time. Alright? And SAMRO is the South African Music Recording Association. There you can put authors. Essentially what that is, I'll get to that, okay? And then there's Capacitor. I'm going to leave you to find out what Capacitor means. How's that? Alright. So SAMRO, well, let me start with SAMPRA. SAMPRA essentially is about performers. That's why it's South African Music Performers Recording Association. What that means, it's an association, a collecting society, a collecting agency. Just like SAMRO, they are a collecting agency. Just like Capacitor, they are collecting. Right, what do they collect? They collect royalties. For who? Musicians and artists. Alright, what is the difference? With SAMRO, they deal predominantly with songwriting. Alright, so they will, if I have an album, a record album, and I wrote all the songs, SAMRO will then collect the royalties for the radio, TV, and for mechanical sales. Mechanical sales is soon to be phased out, but it's like when a CD is sold, a physical copy, a mechanical copy is sold, then indelibly there are royalties that are endowed within that sale. What that means is that it's broken up into, there's a producer's royalty, there's a songwriting royalty, there's a needle time royalty, and then there's also the executive producer who finances it, like the record label. But if you have your own record company, then you register with Capacitor. Alright, they are responsible for collecting that. Capacitor will pay you as an independent record company. Capacitor will pay all the big record companies if you sign to them as an artist, and they will then translate that royalty to you. Does everybody understand so far? I'd like you to say yes if you do. Right, or else I'm going home. You understand? Right. So what does that mean to us? That means that, we don't worry about that. I'm not a songwriter. I just like to play guitar. Well, there's a royalty for you also. That is a needle time royalty. Where that gets its name from. Back in the days, we used to have what was called an LP, which stands for long playing. You see the needle on there, you put it down, the thing that goes, yeah? That's needle. That's a needle going down, so we call it needle time. So it's actually play time, broadcast time. So in other words, if I released a song and I played guitar on it, Natalie sang, and a couple of you guys played there's a royalty from that on its own. There's a separate royalty through that performance. So every time that song is performed, it doesn't mean performed as in me going to play it again. Even if they play the CD or the USB or the MP3, that song is being broadcast, it's being performed, and there's a royalty for that. So if I will get the principal royalty as the main artist. Alright, so if I sing a song and Natalie sings a part in the song, I'll be the main artist, which gets 70% of that particular performance. She'll be the featured artist, she will get a royalty, and then all the musicians on there will get what was broken up from the 30%. Does anybody understand? So if you play, so if you're hearing your bass line on that song, you're going to get paid for it. All right, so it's your duty then to learn now that you need to tell a place like Sampra that, hey, my name is so-and-so, my ID number is whatever, you register online, there's a portal, and I played one song for Ernie Smith, called this, I played a song for Natalie London, called that. 10 years ago, I played for whoever did I die. They will accumulate all your royalties and pay that to you, but you have to be a member to be paid. Exactly like Samro. But Samro deals with the songwriting aspect. And the songwriting aspect of writing a song deals with the music and the lyrics. So 50-50%. You understanding that? So let's say we're talking about a song that there's 100% whole. But of that 100%, or of the entire CD, in terms of what is, or what becomes the 100%, is like the record label will maybe take, I'm just saying, maybe they'll take 80%, and the 20% is the artist royalty. So from that, the royalty, the artist royalty, we'll say there's a 5% of that goes, of the whole, of the entire album that goes for the producer. If there's one producer, he gets that 5%. Are you understanding? I don't want to lose you. All right? And then there's a songwriting element, which is generally 10% of what the album is worth. And if there's two songwriters and we wrote five songs, then you get 50%, I get 50%. But now, that's why I'm just going to flirt with it. I don't want to get deep into it because it can be quite confusing. But of that royalty now, are you still with me? There is the song itself that is divided into the lyrics and the music. In terms of intellectual property, in terms of royalty, that's 50% of the song goes for who wrote the lyrics, who wrote the music. Are we there? You there? All right. Is this helpful for you? Might not make too much sense now, but it's important to know. We got a question already. Yibo. Stand up, please. Yeah. Okay. For instance, I got a na 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 ba 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 da da, and I'm playing it for you, and you say, "Hey, I got words for that." When I'm feeling kind of lonely, that means I wrote the song in terms of its inception, and you wrote the lyrics. But very important. Does that answer your question? Yeah. What's important is that, okay, I see you. What's important is that sometimes there's a lot of conflict that happens when songwriting happens. I'm writing a song, somebody puts one word, the song is released, they're like, hey, why wasn't my name on there? You have to have an agreement with someone if you involve in the songwriting stage. That is most important. I need to say to Natalie, I want to co-write a song with you, you cool? She says yes. Then we know, we say, okay, 50%, cool. Don't you hear the song now sells 10 million, and you're like, hey, I put that word in, lonely, so I should get paid. No, it doesn't work like that. You understand? And there also is the factor that somebody who came up with the original idea is the songwriter. And you can negotiate shares from that. But if somebody invented the car and you added the lights, you can't take credit for inventing the car. You invented the lights on the car. You understand? So people, a lot of musicians just kind of stay out of it. They don't want to sign with any association because what they hear via rumors is that, oh, these guys rob you. No, you're uneducated. You need to educate yourself. And if you know what you're doing, and you can even solicit attorneys or whatever, if you know, then you're protected. You get me? And I know of many cases that people have written a song but never had an agreement, and that song goes on to make up to hundreds of thousands, and these guys don't get paid a cent because they never had an agreement in writing. When you're writing a song with your friend, you take a piece of paper, you make him put his name, his ID number, you put your name, your ID number, and you say, we agree on this, that, and you'll both sign and you'll both keep a copy. You got it? You got your phone, while you're writing the song, you record it, because on there it stamped the date that the song was composed, it was written, no one can do that. I had an incident, I'll remember you, I had an incident with a gentleman, I produced his album. The guy came to my house for me to produce an album for him. The guy came with a half a song, and I was supposed to produce 10 songs. I'll tell you what production is just now. At the end of the record, I done 9.5 songs. And he said, his manager said, there's no way that you could have written all these songs. I said, well, were you in the room? He said, no, but we're not going to pay you for that. So I said, well, fine, I've got my computer that no one can change the date when the songs were originally written, and that will stand up in court. So I had them in the corner. You understand? I had the recorded version of it that it was composed on this date, on that time. So try to, I'm just giving you caution. I know we should be talking about the good side about writing songs and the fun side. It's true, but this side is what really counts also. Sorry, your question, okay? Would you mind standing? Can you hear me?
So you explained now, you said you come up with a melody and then someone had a voice for you. Now that we live in a time when we also have beats, how do you actually claim that with that particular beat? Like how do you share the percentages and all that stuff?
Okay, I hear you. One of the things to understand is that what a lot of the hip hop guys call beats is actually a soundtrack. Beats to me and any musician is. When they talk about a beat, they talk about a. So they talk about the soundtrack. There's music, there's elements of playing in the song, but they call it beats. Most times when you buy that, you are actually buying the license for it. So in some cases, you are buying the rights to use it however you want to, without them making any money, because they sold you the rights for that period that you're using it. You get what I'm saying? So that's what you need to clarify. Other than that, if it's your friend that's coming up with the beat and you coming up with the lyrics, then it's 50-50. And undoubtedly, you need to negotiate. It might be a successful recording artist working with a new guy, and I might say to him, look, you work with the song, I'm not giving you 50%, I can offer you 20% because my name is successful and the song's going to sell a lot. And if he agrees to that, then that's what it is. It's not obviously the right way, but it's how you negotiate. So don't neglect the negotiating part. Stand for what you want, what you know is right, and let that be the case. Because a lot of big artists, I mean, if I write a song for Chris Brown, there's no way he's giving me 50% of what he's making. But I own the song, I own the rights to the lyrics and the music, then I will get paid the complete royalty for that song. It doesn't come from his money, it comes from the organization like Capacitor or anything like that. Anybody and everybody stand? Any questions as we're moving on? Yes, stand please. It's exactly the same beats. Yeah, but just complete you what you're saying. Sorry, I don't want to assume I know what you're saying. Is that it? Okay. Sampling is different. Beats might be me coming up with an original soundtrack that I sell to whoever wants it. And what that also means is that I have the right to sell it to 10 people. They might all put different melodies on it. But if it's my so-called soundtrack, I have the right to sell it unless there's an exclusive deal that somebody negotiates. Would be right. So a sample is different. I keep using my song so you're not confused. If somebody wants to sample my album or my song, they might take when I'm feeling, and use that. So they would probably take the original from my actual recorded works and use it in a way that it's, fits into their song. They have to negotiate the royalties. It's as simple as that. They have to tell me, I might say, look, I want 20% of the song, whatever the song sells. Right, so it's entirely up to you and the person you're dealing with. You got me? All right, so Capacitor is very simple. Capacitor is an organization that actually recoups, it's also a collecting society, but they are the ones who pay the record company. So the record company, or they would pay the organization like Samro and Sampra. And then Sampra would pay whoever in terms of needle time, and Samro would pay in terms of songwriters. So Samro deals only with songwriting. You understand? Sampra deals only with performance. That's the difference. Alright? So Samra is dealing with the composer. Who composed the music, who composed the lyrics, etc. A lot of it you can Google, and you can find about that. I don't want to tell you stuff that's not relevant. Okay, if we get into songwriting as a whole, there are different ways to write songs. Everybody has their own style, everybody has their own method of how they write a song. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. You might have heard the song form as A, B, B, C. What am I talking about? Does anybody know? Please tell me, stand. Stand up and hear. Okay, rhyming is part of it, but it's actually the structure, the form. Right, so we might say, roses are red, violets are blue, Your sister's pretty, what happened to you? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, then we're going to na 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 na. I love you. Dun, dun, dun. There's no one that I love like you. What's that part called? The chorus. What do we know about the chorus? What is a chorus? Stand if you know it. Don't you? Come on, there's no right or wrong answers here. Stand up in here.
It's the main part of the song.
Right, it's the song where we call the big hook, the big left hook is. That's the most memorable part of the song, normally. All right. We fell in love, no, 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 no. Then we fell apart. Right, that's the A section, that's the verse 1. It might be preceded by a introduction. It might be da-dum, dum, 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 with bells or horns. Ba-da-da-da, ba, ba, boom. We fell in love, da-dum, then we fell apart, oh, and I lost my heart, da-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Some songs might repeat that, so it'll be A. Another one will go to, but now I feel that my learning to love myself. That's the pre-chorus, or you can call it the B section. So it's moving away from the original idea. The original idea is presenting the idea without giving it away. It's giving a clue. We fell apart, then we fell in love, then we fell apart. So from the verse already, what's the song about? Heartbreak. Heartbreak. I'm introducing it was great, and then it was bad. And the part between the verse and the chorus, it's going to hint a little more to where we're going in terms of the song. All right, and then we get to the chorus. I can't take it no more. Dun, 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 dun. I gotta close this door. You get it? That's telling the whole thing. So it's like we're starting about apples. If we can look at it in the song, we say, oh, apples are great. Apples are red. Apples are blue. I love apples. You get it? Do you? Second part is saying, oh, when I bite the apple, I feel the juice. It's so good. It's talking to my taste buds. It makes me whatever. Man, apples. And then C chorus is saying, man, even the doctor says apples are good for you. I love apples. That's the chorus. You get it? Are you winning? Right, you know the song's about apples. What am I saying about the apples? What am I saying about apples, right? Hey, I love apples. What am I saying about apples? Talk louder. Sorry? I love apples. Okay, something else. What am I saying about apples? With all that I was saying, y'all don't remember that. All right? At the back, yeah. Sorry? Apples are juicy, yeah, what else? Say? They're good for you. They're red, they're green. I'm telling you, by the time you listen to the song, you know about apples. You know about the taste, you know about the color. You could even put in the smell. You got it. Now that's how you write a song. I want to talk more about songwriting, not so much the legal aspect. That I've already explained. You can find more about it on the internet. What I want is that when you leave here, my job would be done if you go home and you try and write a song. That is what I want to do, is to give you an appetite for songwriting. Because one of the leading ways of becoming successful in the music industry is songwriting. Songwriters influence the culture and the climate of the day. If 50 Cent writes about a song, boom, everybody's singing it, that's the vibe. The guys even start to walk. Because songwriting influences culture, influences and dictates pop culture. Fashion dictates pop culture. You get it? So we are influencers. Yeah, I'm not talking about an influencer like, I slay. You know, you got lots of Instagram followers. That's not what I'm talking about.
So how did you translate your idea of what you had onto that paper? How did you begin that process?
Okay, we'll get to that. Good question. To do that, I want to tell you there are two kinds of songs. There's what we call a gift song, and there's a craft song. All right, a gift song. One day I was really wanting to write a song, simply sitting with my guitar. And an idea came to me. I swear it's like I heard it on the radio and I just copied it. I didn't need to do much. It was just, had a dream last night, you were there with me too. Many of you may know the song was featured on TV on a few programs. It's, hey, yeah, 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 the chorus is love, don't hurt me again, cause I need you now. That song just came to me. I swear it's like, it just came to me. That is a gift song. And then there are other songs like Lonely that you have to work on. I'm just saying, okay, Lonely was also a bit different, but you have to try this section, man, that's not really working. You try this chord, then okay, it sits. And then you try the lyrics, too many lyrics, let me try and simplify what I'm saying. And you have to craft, you have to physically work on that song. You have to apply your A, B, B, or A, B, C form, whatever, to it. You get it? So you gotta have the skills to be able to translate stuff or work on stuff, engage stuff with craft. Songwriting skills. One of the things we employ in songwriting is rhyme scheme. That's what I was saying. But not every song needs to be roses are red, violets are blue, your sister's lovely, what happened to you? There's other ways that people rhyme a song. Where there's a different rhyme scheme, where it doesn't end with you and boo and loo. You understand? So I want you to, next time you listen to a song, listen to people like Elton John, listen to songwriters like Bob Dylan. Listen, if you're into worship, listen to people like Hillsong, and listen to what they're doing, and you, after a while, you kind of get it, okay. So everybody has a different trait that somebody will say, hey, that's an Elton John kind of style writing, because they've understood that Elton John doesn't do intros. Maybe he does 3 verses, and he does 1 chorus. Or maybe one guy does a verse and straight to a chorus. You understand? There are different ways of writing. You have to find that, how you like it. So to do that, I want you all to trust me and close your eyes. Don't worry, I'm not going to steal anything from you. I'll try not to. All right. So I want you to think about exactly what I'm saying. It's like a man walked into a hotel room. Can you picture it? Right. A man walked into a dark hotel room. Can you picture what's going on there? A man walked into a dark, empty, cold hotel room. You got that? All right, open your eyes. What happened? As I used my imagination, it deepened the story. You cannot write a song apart from your imagination. You have to engage your imagination. And you have to use words and lyrics that stimulate that. Somebody will say, how do you write a song from that? A man went into a dark, cold hotel room with the half-empty bottle of whiskey in his drawer. Wow. That's another story. What does that make you think of? What's happening with this man? Who can tell me? What's happening with him?
He's like depressed, he's going through something. He is like, you are fired from his job, he just went to pull something like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else? Yeah. Going through a rough time. Anything more in detail? Anyone? Even Madam No. All right. Now, as we added lyrics, as we added a scene, what happened? It kind of fed us and informed us a little more about the man's state of mind, about what the man is doing. Am I correct? So a man went into a dark, cold, empty hotel room with a half bottle of whiskey and an open Bible on his desk. Woo! What does that say? Come on, think. Yeah. Right.
That he believes that whatever the rough time is going through, God is not helping him with it, and he's struggling to believe that God is.
Right. Right. You see, we've all got ideas. What's important when you're songwriting is to use your imagination. Find words, find better ways of saying stuff, because you might find the melody is da 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 da, and you're saying, a man went into a... No, it's too much. You might say, a lonely man lost his way, looking for love in every way. You get what I'm saying? Instead of, and a man got hurt, and then he got onto his horse, and he rode to the hotel. You get it? Now that's writing style. You have a different style. So if you want to be a songwriter, whether it be music or what, you've got to fall in love with words. You've got to become a wordsmith. You've got to look in the dictionary and learn a word a day or something. Find different ways of looking at stuff, which is what we are as musicians, as songwriters, as artists. We are the ones who have to provide a commentary for our times. We have to say something about Corona. I wrote a song called New Day about Corona. There's a new day coming, I see a new day coming. And just last night, they sent me the stats of it, and we saw it, 33.1 million impacts on radio. I've never had a song do that big, because people need it for the times. The message was relevant for what people are going through in the times. I might still sound like I'm using abstract examples, I'm using them purposely because you will never forget it. Who's going to write a song about a monkey sitting on the moon, whatever? Nobody cares about it. And that's why some songs work and others don't. Sometimes Corona is happening. You might need to say something the opposite. To say, like what I'm saying, there's a new day coming. Soon it'll be over, or whatever. You've got to find relevance in what you're writing and in what you're saying. People don't want to listen to songs that make no sense. They don't want to listen to songs that don't relate to them. They want you. That's why hip-hop is so successful. Because hip-hop talks about the struggle. Hip-hop talks about, I grew up in the hood, I was struggling, whatever, and now, look, here I am, kind of thing. You're providing people with hope. You're providing them a way out. It's a way to escape other circumstances. And then what music does, music makes you happy, music can make you sad. All right, I don't want to go too much further, I will though, but I want to take questions from the person that's playing with the bottle that's not interested. Yeah, you're breaking the bottle while we're talking. Give us a question. Now, what do you think? Because I'm boring you playing with the bottle, so tell me about what we're talking about. You know, they paid me lots of money to come and talk here. And you playing with a bottle? Chill. All right. Pay attention. I'm teasing you, but I'm not. Yes, David? Question?
You can take one question.
I know what that is saying. I love Jesus.
We have time for one question.
Oh, we have time for one question. Make it count, people. One more question. You can ask me about anything, about me, about music, whatever you.
Have you gone through a time where you feel like you can't find ideas to produce things and you struggle to express what you want to?
Yeah. Well, I don't believe in songwriters block as such, but there is such a thing. I just don't believe in it. Because I believe even when you can't write a song, I'll write a song about not writing a song. So it's the way you see it. But I have gone through times when I feel so exhausted, like I've exhausted my ideas, I see you. And in that case, what I try to do as a guitarist, or I play piano as well, is I try to find new chord progressions that will excite me. You know, I listen to a rock song, even though rock's not my first choice. I listen to a classical song and try and find something there that will kind of excite me. You gotta look for inspiration. Sometimes inspiration comes, sometimes you gotta sing until song comes, sometimes you gotta fight until fight comes back. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta fake it to make it, in a sense of go and look for it. John Mayer is one of my favorite artists. Says when he finds it, whatever that it is, he throws it back in the water and goes after it again. What he's saying, it doesn't get stuck in one idea. And he says it's his inability. One thing you must learn as a songwriter, very important, write this down. Learn to copy, learn to steal. It's contrary to what people say. They say good artists copy, great artists steal. What am I saying? People like Picasso stole from Leonardo da Vinci. If you look, you say, hey, it was Leonardo's idea, but he made it in a way that it became his own thing. John Mayer says that it's his inability to copy his contemporaries that gives him his original idea. He was trying to write a song like Sting and ended up on the way. That happens to me all the time. I put another chord and lead me to something else and lead me to a whole fresh idea. So you must copy, but don't steal. When I'm feeling kind of lonely, you go, I am just no, that is the wrong kind of stealing. You get what I'm saying? Steal in a sense of use somebody else's idea to take you somewhere else. Question? Last question? Stand up, please. Yes,
What was the first thing you wrote the first song about?
First thing I wrote?
So,
You won't believe that where I actually realized I wrote a song was actually in grade, what is class 2? Grade 2. Grade 2 I wrote a poem. And that I realized afterwards was actually my first song. It might have been the lyrics to the first song. But the first thing I started playing on guitar was something that, I don't know, I just made up along the way. You know, I can't even remember, like, my first formalized song would be one of the songs on my album, like, maybe like Love Don't Hurt Me Again. But being able to write in terms of poems, a lot of poets become great songwriters as well. So that's another thing too, if you're looking for material, go through some poems, no matter what the style of music. If you've got to be a wordsmith, so learn, read novels, listen to songs, rewind it, listen to what he done there, how quick they get to the chorus, what's the punchline. Because sometimes the chorus, in many cases with experienced songwriters, they use the chorus not as the punchline. There's a hook in the verse, there's a hook in the B section, there's a hook in the, if you put hooks all over, that is what we call popular music. And just for your idea, you will find that every song that's been a hit song in the 80s and 90s, check it out, the tempo was always 120 beats per minute. Is that me done? All right. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for listening. And stop passing the bottle.